All right, y'all. Welcome back to another Mommy and Me episode. Shout out to you for tuning in, listening, or watching whatever day it is. But you know, if you a real OG, you watching on Mondays on YouTube with us. So welcome back. Happy Monday. I am Brii Renee, straight from the A.
And I am the original Miss Renee from the A.
What you're not gonna do is look at yourself the whole time. You're gonna look and talk normal, okay? But anyways, shout out to everybody that is watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, liking and commenting, sharing these videos, as well as listening on the audio platforms. Please run up those audio numbers for us, y'all. I know that y'all are like, please keep these coming. And we are, we love Mommy and Me and we support y'all. Well, if you want to support and help us continue to keep this going, then run up those numbers on audio so we can get some sponsors. Or if you got a business, you want us to promote your business in our podcast, send it us our way. Send us an email. You can contact us right now at Brii Renee on Gmail. And yeah, we want to work with y'all too. So let's grow together.
Let's grow together.
Well, speaking of growing, again, everybody has been telling us, like the last couple of weeks, we've been doing topics that you guys have suggested. So if you want us to talk about something you feel like we haven't, go ahead and drop that in the comments below. You can always DM us as well and let us know what y'all want to hear, what y'all want us to talk about. Well, Katie's World _ and that's KAITYYSWORLD. I wanted to spell it right because it was Katie with 2 I's. Katie's World _ says, how do you encourage your child if they're falling off, but you want to encourage them? Like, how do you bring your children up and encourage them to do the right thing, go the right way, when they are, slacking a little bit?
Whoa. That you got to figure out what your kid resonates with, and show them how they can obtain it, how they can achieve it by doing the right things. And you got to sometimes be a no-nonsense parent. It's like you got to put your foot down to tell them certain things that they do will not be acceptable, period. And you got to always teach to them and show them by not doing the right things, what are the consequences? It might take you to take their little narrow ass down to the juvenile justice system and sit in on a juvenile justice court case. I mean, they don't let you do anymore because now everything is private. But take them to the juvenile justice center and say, hey, look, this is where children who choose not to do the right thing end up. As a result, children that choose not to do the right thing, show them where they house them in prison. There used to be a program called Scared Straight. And I am a proponent for bringing that.
You ain't never had to take me to no jails. You
I know.
Scared my ass straight all right with that damn bill. So whoop they ass.
Yeah,
maybe that'll do some encouragement.
And if that doesn't work, then true. You got to do it. And you got to talk to them. And I always say, spare the rod, spoil the child. My grandson, I had to reach out and touch his little ass the other day for spitting on somebody. And his mama whooped his ass Monday for doing it. And I had her to bring him by my house, and I whooped his ass yesterday for doing it. And I'm going to do it every time he did it. And then I had to sit down and talk to him after I did it to let him know, look.
This is why you got your ass
This is
whooped.
why you got your ass whooped. Certain things we're not going to allow you to do and think it's okay to do it. And then I went and paid a surprise visit at his school the following day. And he came down the hall. You could tell the poor little fella, he was so concerned. He was just wondering, what in the hell? And I saw it in his face. And the minute he saw me, he says, Mama, I was on green today. Good, And he was like, okay, don't come up here with that shit today, whooping my ass.
Right.
But the bottom line is, it takes a village to raise children. They have to be known, and it has to be reinforced that certain behavior is not going to be accepted. And we as parents, grandparents, we have to be involved on a consistent basis with those children's life. They say, well, where's his daddy? Well, his daddy's out being a little punk bitch and being, he's sobbing in his feelings right now, and he's not being the man he needs to be and showing his kid, the leadership that, he should be. So it takes the rest of us
I think you definitely can encourage. I think other people in your children's lives have a
Play a
pivotal
pivotal
role,
absolutely,
and
a pivotal
encouraging
role.
them into
You know,
bringing out
and I
things.
had to remind him, your last name may be X, Y, and Z, but you got the Robinson blood in your veins. And what you're not going to do is go out in these streets and give me a bad name. You know, you're not going to go out in the streets and behave a certain way, you know, and make people think that I condone that, because I don't.
Mhm.
You know, you're going to do the right. It is so easy in teaching your children doing the right things. Now, you know, I used to tell y'all all the time, you may get an ass whooping for doing the wrong thing. But I also want you to know that I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader when you do the right thing. I can't protect you. Now, you know, I used to tell you all the time, I can't protect you and stand up for you if I don't know the truth. So don't be afraid to tell me the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you tell me the truth, know that I'm going to be your biggest advocate. But don't expect me to be your biggest advocate and you're lying to me.
Even if you tell the truth, you might still get that ass whooped up.
Yeah, but you still got to tell the truth, because your behavior, that's how you build character.
Yeah, well, I think that you're right about a lot of that. I think that it does take a village, and sometimes the people around you can be very instrumental in encouraging your children to do the right things or go down the right paths. But I think encouragement is not just negative, if that makes sense.
Like, it's not. It's positive. Because once I whipped his ass, I had to tell him, look, I love you. I don't like doing that. You're not a bad child. You are a good boy. You are a smart, and he's smart as whip. You are smart. So we have to give him that positive reinforcement.
Yeah, but
I want you to grow up. I want him to grow up to do and enjoy the things in life he wants to do.
Granted, but I'm saying without him doing something negative, what do encouragement look like on a
You encourage him on
a
consistent basis, encourage him. You have those conversations with him. Hey, you're a smart boy. You're a good boy. You know, these are good things. This is what happened. You can do anything you want to. That's what my mom used to do, is, encourage us and tell us, you can do anything in this world. My mama used to literally tell me that all the time. You can do anything in this world you desire to do.
I understand that. But like some of that is a little cliche or only works up to a certain age. So like they're young. So of course, you can tell them these things now, and that's all they need to know, is that you can do anything, dream big, have ambitions, these type of things. But I'm saying, like, once you get to like middle school, high school, college, and you're trying to find your way in the world for real. Yes, I know I can do anything. Yes, I know I'm capable of X, Y, and Z, but how do you encourage your child to truly find themselves, their passions, and to go down the right path? Because now they're open to so many more influences and negative.
You got to stay connected to them and find out what, it's not hard for parents to figure out their children's strengths and their weaknesses. If you're truly parenting your children, you know what they are when they're 4 or 5 years old. You know what their weaknesses are. You know what their strengths are.
What was my strengths and weaknesses at 4 or 5 years old?
4 or 5 years old, you had the gift of gab. At 5 years old, you could talk your way out of any damn thing. Talk your way into it. You had the gift of gab.
Well, I know you had to talk,
and I know you, and I knew you had the ability to analyze and to write and to put your thoughts down. I mean, when you were in school, the teachers used to always say, she has excellent creative writing skills and comprehension and things like that. So, I mean, we knew those things about you very, very early on.
What was my negative traits?
You wouldn't shut the hell up sometimes. So your negative was also your positive. So, we know those things about our children very early on. You were gullible. I knew very early on you were gullible. You were always bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and think, oh, the world loves me. The world loves Brii. Here, let's go. Slow your roll. Understand the world may love you, but the world will also take that and use that against you. So I knew those things about you very early on. And so we as parents have to understand that we've got to try to nurture that, push you in certain directions, allow you to explore, to experience, to grow, to try to influence you and convince you to do certain things and pursue certain things. That's the way you teach your children, to help them find their way. Don't put your foot down where you got to go do this because I said do that. And that may not be your way of understanding. You see, I couldn't raise you the same way I raised your sister because your sister, she was hell bent on not doing it a certain way. That didn't work for her.
And sometimes the more you force or try to make your children do stuff, it make them want to do the opposite just out of rebellion.
Absolutely.
So sometimes I will tell parents, and I tell my friends who have older kids now, like, release the rein a little bit.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of implied freedom.
Yeah.
Let them think they got and I promise you that sometimes they won't even choose what they would normally choose because you cracking the whip over their head.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to give them a little freedom. Give them the opportunity to, make some mistakes and understand as a parent, your children are going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
It is our job to be there to help them navigate through it afterwards, to be there to help them pick up the pieces, to say, okay, I told you don't touch that stove because it was, but you needed to touch it. You had to realize that it was hot. Now, come on, let's go put a Band-Aid on.
I really wanted to know, like, oh, well, she did. I was going to say, I wanted to know more information. How do you encourage your children if they're falling off?
You got to show them what happens. Let them, and sometimes you got to give them a real dose of reality as to, okay, you fall off. Fine. You don't want to get an education? Come here, let me show you where you're going to be living. Come here, you don't want to go to school? Let me show you what happens when you don't go to school. Come here, you don't want to focus in school? Let me show you what happens. No, you're used to a certain lifestyle. Okay. Do you want this lifestyle or do you want that lifestyle? You pick and choose. Because if you continue to fall off, that's the consequences of your action.
Yeah.
So we have to be real with our children to let them know what's going to happen to them if they don't position themselves to be able to take care of themselves and survive in this world.
So that works when the child is in your household. But what about when they're in college or grown and living on their own? As a parent, you still want to see your child do the right thing or go in the right paths. What if you are witnessing your child as a grown adult when they are capable of making their own decisions and they are making some bad ones? How do you encourage them as a parent then to make right ones? Because technically they don't got to do shit you say at that point.
Right, absolutely. But as a parent, you continue to stay in their ear. You continue to let them know that, hey, baby, you out there scamming.
Not scamming.
I'm just saying, using it as an example. You're scamming. And you know what happens. He's gonna catch up with you someday. But how would you like it? How would you feel if somebody were to take your shit and scam it and use, steal from you? How does that make you feel?
Or your loved one.
Or your loved one.
Or your mama.
Right. What if somebody did that? So, you've got to reach them where they are. Hopefully you'll be able to continue to reach them to where they want to go, straighten up and go on the right path. Or, guess what? Because it's going to happen. They're not going to be able to go through their entire life doing wrong without consequences. And so when it happens, you as a parent would say,
I told you so.
I told you so.
You know what I hated?
And then what you tell them is this. And when you forewarn them, when you're trying to get them on the right path, you forewarn them that as a result of your action, these are the consequences. And because you refuse to adhere to what I'm telling you, when you are faced with those consequences, I don't want you to think I don't love you when I don't come running to your rescue.
Yeah, I was about to say that used to piss me off, but it taught me very valuable lesson, and I always knew that. So with my mom being an attorney when I was growing up, she used to be like, I'm never bailing you out of jail. Or you said I get one time.
I said you get one free pass.
One free get out of jail card.
Everybody's going to make a mistake somewhere down the line. And I wasn't going to be that hard. I'm going to give you one pass, baby. You pick and choose when you choose to use it. But just know that you only got one. So we'll go along with one mistake. But after that, I'm not getting you out of jail. No.
That used to piss me off because it's like, you the lawyer. You supposed to be on call.
No, I'm not. But I wasn't going to be on your damn yo-yo.
Yeah. Well, they definitely kept me from making a lot of bad mistakes because I knew my mama wouldn't come to get my ass.
And I meant that because you didn't have to do whatever it is you were going to do to land you there. So know that I love you. And I love you enough to let you sit in that shit that you created.
Oh, is that love? Loving someone enough to like sit with that is love.
Yeah.
To sit with the consequences of their actions, because if they don't fully feel those consequences, then they gonna continue to make the same mistakes.
There's no repercussions for what you did.
Yeah, maybe the way to encourage them to get on the right path is to let them deal with the repercussions of going down the wrong path. Like fully deal with them, not just giving them a little taste.
But see, what you can do is we can try and help you, baby. Listen. You're out there scamming. You know, you get caught with that. That's a felony.
You're out there selling them drugs.
Yeah, you when you get caught with that, that's going to mess your life up. You're going to get a felony. That's going to mess you up for the rest of your life. Yeah. When you catch that felony, you're not going to be able to get a job. You won't be able to vote. You won't be carried with firearms. A lot of things you're not going to do. Now you got to deal with the repercussions of that. Now what are you going to do? You're going to be happy working in McDonald's for the rest of your life? Are you going to be happy working at Walmart for the rest? And then someplace Walmart may not even hire you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, come on. We got to teach our children the consequences of their action. Otherwise.
Does that hurt, though, as a parent?
Yes, that hurts.
Yes, like, you know how parents like, this hurts me more than it hurts you. Does it really? Or does that bullshit?
No. I hated to have to whoop Tristan's ass the other day. I did.
Did you really hate it? Or did you be like, yes,
no,
I got somewhere to put this pent-up aggression?
No, that wasn't pent-up aggression. I really hate it because I don't want to see him cry. I don't want to see him hurt. I don't want to, but he needed to know you can't spit on people.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
I don't even know where he got that from.
If you think about that, you can't spit on people.
Like, where did he get that from?
I don't know.
Think he saw somebody spit?
I don't know. Maybe he did, but he won't do it no more. Because if he does it again, he's going to get another ass whooping. It's going to be
like, leave that shit wherever you saw it at. Don't be bringing that around here. Like you said, especially as a boy spitting in a girl face, that's wild, Tristan.
Yeah, and
I've never whooped my niece or nephew. I've never had to whoop either one of them. But that's something like I would let him know. Like, I think I could just be like, I'm disappointed in you, and I think that would make him cry.
Yeah,
because he loved me that much.
Yeah, maybe, and that may be all it takes for you. But I needed to let him know there were going to be consequences for his action. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do that.
I can't even imagine whooping
him. Because I mean, you know, I'm
you're the disciplinary,
right? But yet and still, they know that I love them, but I'm not gonna play with them.
Yeah, I ain't gonna play the radio with you.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna do that. That was wrong. That was dead ass wrong. You know, and I don't want him growing up thinking it's okay to do it.
No,
because that shit graduates to something else more sinister, and we ain't having it.
Do you think that it takes a different way to encourage boys than girls?
Period. Not necessarily boys and girls, but individual.
In every I need a different encouragement than my sister.
Yes, absolutely.
So you know how people be like, okay, you know how I love the radio. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I used to go to sleep with the radio all the time. If I got in trouble, you would take my radio. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's right, though? Or like, okay, maybe that me and the radio is not a good example because that doesn't.
It's a perfect example. I took away something you liked.
Something I like, but that's not a good example for my question because that's something that is strictly leisure and pleasure. I mean, like, say boys, for instance. Boys get in trouble and say they're part of an organized sport. And your mom be like, you're not going to basketball practice or you're not going, you're not going to play in the game.
For instance, your cousin, when he stayed, when we were raising Chauncey used to get this little attitude where on Fridays, you know, his teachers couldn't tell him nothing because he had to get right for the game. He had to get in his right zone, right? And he would go to certain classes and just not participate, just lay his head down on the desk on Friday because he's getting all buffed up. He's getting psyched up for the football game. That was always his excuse.
It ain't that much psyching up.
Well, wait a minute, but he's a football fanatic, so he would get psyched. His teacher messed around and told me that. Mm-hmm. Like, I was a police officer. You know them little clubs. Them little nightsticks we had.
Oh, my God. Did you beat him with the knife?
I went to school, to his high school, with my uniform on, not that I cared, but I had that nightstick. I snatched his ass out of class.
Don't try.
I snatched him out of class,
Mm-hmm.
jacked him up in the hallway against all of his lockers, and told him that ass wasn't playing in no game. And I meant it. No game. He wasn't playing that.
With police brutality.
You call it whatever you want to call it, but I was his mama at that moment. And he was not going to disrespect a teacher. And he wasn't putting anything above his education. And he wasn't acting that way. That behavior was unacceptable. And when I snatched his ass up and had him against them lockers in his coach came running. Please, Miss Robinson, please. You know, they wasn't worried about me hurting him. Please, please, please. Don't let him. Don't take him out of the game. Let him play. Please, we'll promise. I'll get him right. We'll do. You know, and he knew I was dead ass serious. And he'll tell you to this day. Oh yeah, I was dead ass. He wasn't playing no football that day.
Well,
I put my foot down.
That makes sense because in that case, he was trying to put the sport over his schoolwork. So it's like, no, I'm gonna take this sport away.
Yeah.
But what if it has nothing to do with the sport? Like I was talking to a guy one time and he was saying he thought it was so dumb and how his mom prevented him from, he probably never would have made it to the league anyway. But you know, niggas be, you know, but he was saying how every time he would get in trouble for his schoolwork, his mama would take him out of basketball. And he was like, he used to think that was so dumb because that was the only thing that encouraged him to do well. And it wasn't like he did bad in school because of basketball. He just wasn't doing well. So taking away something that is giving them structure, teaching them great skills, even if they do love it, I think can be harmful if it don't have nothing to do with the reason why they doing bad. Like, I think it should correlate.
I agree.
Except for like the radio thing with me, because I didn't do bad in school. So you was probably taking my radio because I had a smart ass mouth or didn't clean my room.
Right.
So you would take the radio because that was leisure. But you know what I'm saying? That makes sense. But it wasn't teaching me. Well, technically I could argue that it was, since I do radio now. But I wasn't listening to the radio then to learn how to do radio.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that it can hurt your child to, I don't know, you like you said, each child is different.
Yeah,
and you gotta know.
You gotta get into what will, how do you reach each child? I think that it comes down to what's going to reach them.
You know what encouragement I would have liked growing up? Verbal encouragement. Like you could have just said, "You're doing great, sweetie. I'm proud of you."
You know what? But you were such a vain ass little kid.
Maybe I was overcompensating for the fact that my mother was not giving me those encouraging words. Have you ever thought about that?
Nah.
That maybe if you gave them to me, I wouldn't have to give them to myself?
Well, I don't know if that would have necessarily been the case.
I think so.
I don't think so. But I didn't feel that I needed to be. I mean, I was your cheerleader.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
Yeah,
say what your first time
said. No. I'm telling the truth. I was your cheerleader, but I didn't think that I had to be there.
No, you were my sponsor. It's different from being a sponsor and a cheerleader. A sponsor makes sure everything is paid for, make sure you got everything you need and you good to go. You set up, somebody gonna pick you up, somebody gonna drop you off. You sponsored the event, but you did not cheer. You were not on the sideline with your poster that you made. You was not, oh, that's my baby. You was not doing that.
Because I didn't miss anything. I never missed anything. So
how many TFL games you went to?
I went to
how many times did you go to Daytona for our Thanksgiving?
I didn't do the trips now. I didn't do the trips, but I was at all the TFL games. All the I was. All the home ones. I didn't go to Daytona. I wasn't going down there with 50 damn little bratty ass, chatty ass little girls. I wasn't doing it. Somebody else was enthused about doing that. That wasn't me. Okay? But when it came down to certain things, I felt as if all you had to do was do those things. There was nothing else required of you. But for instance, My thing would be, only thing you needed to do and worry about was just go to school, get a good education, and I was going to do the rest. Okay? I didn't need to be on your bandwagon cheering you on. Oh, yes, that's right, sweetie. Just, you're doing well, you're doing this because at the end of the day, when it came to being at the parent-teacher conferences, I was there to show my support and to get an understanding as to what was going on, to make sure that I provided everything else you needed to go. Now, could I have done a better job and said, "Oh, okay, baby, you're doing good"? I don't know.
I do know. I'm telling you, you could have did a better job.
I don't know if that would.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset, but I'm just saying what I, as a child, did long for.
To say, "Okay, baby, you're doing good." And
I never knew you were proud of me until I was grown.
Okay.
I never felt like I had achieved your level of satisfaction until I was grown. And that might have caused a lot of issues.
No, that didn't cause any issue.
You don't know. You don't know that. Because I'm saying, like, as a child, I felt like nothing I did pleased you. You were insatiable.
No, I wouldn't. No, let me just tell you.
You might have been satisfied, but I never heard you say that.
Because you know what? As a parent, I never wanted to make you comfortable. I never wanted to make you comfortable to the point where
such
you thought,
big range between.
No. Listen, my way of thinking was, I'm never going to give you that much more. So you figure, oh, I've done it all. Now I can sit down. Now I can rest. Now I cannot.
I think that parents should let your children know that I am proud of you. I think you did a great job in this area. Or this school year, for the 8th year in a row, you've got perfect attendance and great grades.
You didn't do shit to get perfect attendance. I showed up. You didn't have a George Buckley show up. Because to make sure you were going there, I took you there. And had you been absent, do you not know the consequences for being absent?
Skipped school.
My point is, had you skipped school, did you not know what the consequences were going to be for you skipping school?
Y'all don't ever want to give nobody no credit.
I mean, granted, I give you credit for doing the. I give you credit for doing the right thing, but you also know in the back of your mind, had you got caught skipping school, or had I looked at a report card and you were absent, I know you had no business being absent, you were gonna have to answer for that. So do I give you grace, or do I praise you for doing what I require you to do? That's what you want me to. That's what you're asking me.
Yes.
No.
Yes, because even though I'm supposed to do it, I could have chose not to. And I'm not saying praise, but you can give accolades or justice when it's due. And I'm saying, just like you supposed to be a good mama, you also should be praised for being a great mama.
Well, I'm not.
Because that's what's wrong with Black people.
I don't need to be praised for doing what I'm supposed to do.
But didn't you?
It is required of me to be the very best mom I'm supposed to be, because I brought you here in this world.
Absolutely. But at some point,
that's an obligation.
But at some point, as a mother, didn't it feel good for somebody to say you're doing a great job? And encouraging you that, hey, I know you might be stressing out, but you're doing great. Hey, you supposed to be a good mom and take care of your children, but you doing a damn good job.
First of all,
how would that have made you feel?
First of all, I wouldn't have believed. I wouldn't have taken.
That's what's wrong with us.
It wouldn't have. First of all, can't nobody look at me and tell you're doing a. I mean, granted, people say that looking from the outside looking in, but don't nobody really know how I'm raising my child at home. Don't nobody. I don't get those. I don't get that accolade. I don't think as a parent you get that accolade and truly understand what that means until you're gone. You're grown and gone.
No,
yes, I know.
It's a fruit of your labor. When you see that your child repeatedly is coming home with straight A's, that teachers are saying it's a pleasure to have this child in my class. It's a pleasure to have this child a part of my team, or as a team player. Like, you are doing great. Like, you heard these things. I know you'd have heard them because I'd have heard them tell them to you. So that is encouraging to let you know that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing. That's the positive side of encouragement.
Yes, you're right. I did hear those things. Yes, and I do understand what you're saying.
For something that you were supposed to do.
Right.
So even though you were supposed to wait a second, even though you were supposed to do it, it felt good, and it was positive reinforcement that you were on the right path to hear that encouragement. All I'm saying is, as a parent, even though I am supposed to get straight A's, even though I am supposed to go to school and clean my room and do these things, for me to continuously excel and be above average, God damn it, I deserve applause, okay? And it would have helped. And
but be honest now. You were rewarded for those things. You would say, okay, Mom, I got straight A's. What do I get? That's my rewarding you is my way of giving you those accolades. So did you not get those things?
Well,
answer the damn question.
I did get things.
Answer, were you not rewarded for all of that behavior?
But what I'm saying is, I negotiated that up front. I said, hey, can I get, back then it would be $20 for each A.
But you got it, though. The point, whether you negotiate.
I did it.
You got it. Well, you start negotiating that when you figured you could get a bit more out of the deal. But on a regular basis as a child growing up, you were always rewarded for your good behavior. So no, I didn't say it. Hey, okay, but you got this for that.
I know, but
so you got those things.
So two things.
So the bottom line is enough was never enough for you as a kid growing up.
Two things. I will say it could backfire because I do remember feeling hidden as an adult, realizing like, damn, I think that I'm supposed to get a reward for everything I do.
Thank you. Thank you.
But like physical reward, right? I felt like, damn, I think it's because every time I did do something, I did get something.
Right.
So it can backfire, one. But I think you could have balanced that out with a little bit more verbal encouragement. But therefore, I could have taken, it would have felt more satisfying, more fulfilling to know that I made you proud sometimes. Damn. It's a 5-letter word. You act like it's gonna hurt you.
No, because let me tell you something. I felt a lot of times that if I praised you, you thought then that you were doing something for me and not for yourself. You see, if I gave you, oh, that's a good girl, I'm so proud of you, but like you really do, you're doing it because that, number one, you needed to do it for yourself. And number two, it wasn't for my benefit. It was for your benefit.
That's true.
So maybe I didn't feel as if me praising you for doing what you needed to do was the right thing to do. I just didn't.
I think praise and encouragement is different.
Encouraging. I didn't. I rewarded you in a manner in which I thought was appropriate, and then it became, you're pimping me at that point,
God. I don't understand how I could pimp you for feelings.
It wasn't feelings. You was always, Mom, I got straight A's. Can I, now that I got it, like I'm supposed to pay you for doing what the hell you're supposed to do.
But I do feel like that was the only encouragement that I got. And that's what kept me motivated to set goals and achieve what I wanted out of life, because I did know that, okay, if you work hard, you set a goal, you can get a reward at the end of completing the goal. But then also sometimes it comes with a little cash, maybe Six Flags tickets or something, things like that. Like, so I do feel like that's a good way to positively encourage your children is to give them rewards that you and them both agree on before in goal setting together. I do think that Black parents can verbally say, I'm proud of you sometimes. Whether it be for accomplishing something in school or sports. If you see your child be dedicated to something and complete that, grown people don't do it.
Yeah.
Why? And even if it is
I won't push back on that. But I'm just telling you what my rationale.
Because have you told Morgan you proud of her?
Oh, yes.
Exactly. And she 8 years old and ain't did shit.
Yes, she has. She's done a lot.
What she done did to be proud?
Some kids need a little bit more. When she had Georgia Milestone, she passed it. She was all excited. She worked really hard at it, And I tell her,
but why do you feel like she needed more than I did? Is it just because that's your grandchild and you feel like giving it more?
No, I just think that kids nowadays are a little bit more fragile than you really.
I was just as fragile.
No, you weren't. And besides, you got to understand too. You were more bratty than anything else. You
Morgan is spoiled. What are you talking about? Rotten. She has way more than I ever had at that age.
She's not spoiled rotten.
She has diamonds and Louis Vuitton and Burberry and Chanel and purses. I didn't get a name brand nothing till I got to college. The namest brand I had was Coach. I had Coach and Ralph Lauren in high school. I didn't own a Louis Vuitton, a Chanel, I think I might have had a couple diamond studs that you made sure I had a necklace and an earring.
What?
But I went iced out like Morgan. And had
iced out.
Morgan is iced out with Chanel bags.
She
It's something that they do to y'all brain when y'all become grandparents.
She got a couple of diamond rings and diamond necklaces, and and it's she has a way she likes to look at 9 years old, and so I mean
Morgan shops way more than I ever shopped.
Okay, but that ain't my doing.
So you don't think she's spoiled?
I don't think she's
way more spoiled than I was. So just be prepared for this monster that you're helping create.
I'm not creating
Because if you
monster.
thought I was a monster in high school and I didn't have half the shit she got, what you think? She got an iPhone at 9. I had prepaid.
They didn't. She didn't run up her damn minutes either.
Because it's free. They unlimited now. There's no way to run it up. It's no way. I had to ration out the minutes on the phone call.
But she doesn't.
Like we was in jail.
She doesn't take it to school. She doesn't, it's for the weekend. She gets it on the weekend. Mm-hmm. She gets it on the weekend.
Blessed be the babes.
Yeah. And the only thing she carries every day now is her iPhone watch. With her at all times. But
she got an iPhone watch.
Yeah.
And mind you, the luxury I had, y'all hear the difference, was a CD player in high school. And I was grateful that it lit up.
Okay.
When the song played, it had a little LED light around it.
Okay. I mean, but times have changed. Times have changed.
So you think the spoiling should increase?
I don't think it's...
Because when my child asks for a Bentley at 16, I want you to make sure you know times have changed.
No, times have changed.
It's time for you to drop that Rolls Royce.
No, times have changed. If I'm
going to be telling my child to ask for the shit I want.
See, that's the difference between you and your sister. She doesn't ask for things like that.
Remember they tell your grandma we want a Chanel? Classic flap.
Okay, no.
Tell your grandma we need Hermes.
No,
we need a Birkin.
We don't need. She didn't. She has things that she likes. And I want to give her those things. The same thing I should tell you. I'd rather give them to you than you go out in the street and have somebody else to give them to you, and it comes with the price.
Yeah, true. How do you feel like you're encouraging her differently than what you did us?
I'm not encouraging her any differently because my parenting style remains the same. And I'll be honest, do I spoil her a little bit more than I spoiled y'all? Yes. Because I can. I'm capable, but it still comes with the price. It still comes with, the rootedness. She knows that certain things are not going to be accepted and tolerated. And she didn't just get it because she asked for it. I do try to make her earn things,
How you do that?
I make her earn things.
Like what? What has she earned? And what did she do to earn it?
Well, same thing you used to do. She goes to school, she gets a good grades, she does like she's supposed to do, and she behaves. Same thing you used to do. Same thing you used to do to earn you whatever you got.
No, I used to come up with jobs. Mom, let me clean your office up. Remember that? Mom, let me wash the truck.
Okay. And she does.
Make her ass work. She ain't clean shit.
She'll wash the dishes. She loves to vacuum. She's sweet. Yes, she does. She helps. Yes, she does.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Crack the whip.
No, I don't have to crack it. I said, Morgan, come on, help me sweep the floor. She'll get the broom. She'll push it. She'll vacuum. She'll do everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hear.
Then she'll help. She'll help with the dogs. She will. She'll help that baby.
She loves the dogs.
She loves the dogs.
She might be a vet.
Wash the dogs.
What if she grow up to be a veterinarian?
And then that's what she'll do. If she grows up,
deliver puppies,
and I would encourage her to be the best veterinarian she can be. Mm-hmm.
So I think those are some good tips. Acknowledging first what your child takes interest in, to kind of like steer them down that path. I would also say allowing your child to explore
Right.
everything and different things that they might not even know that they like.
Right.
Like, I remember you introduced me to traveling at 9 years old. The first time I ever get on a plane, this lady decided to take me to Korea. I don't know why that would be the first time I touch a plane. Is a 9-10 hour flight, but nonetheless,
we had a ball. You went.
Mhm.
I told you. I taught you the culture there, how the barter system, the negotiation. And so I got to the point when we would go and buy things. I let you do the bartering. You started bartering. You started paying for the things and teaching you the money and how to swap the money and the value of their dollar versus our dollar. So, that was an experience. We enjoyed it, So these are the things I think whatever we can teach them beyond, just the everyday norm, then let's teach them,
introduce them to things.
Right. And I like to introduce my grandkids to different things, to teach them, show them the things that I can afford to show them. Not
Arts
just
and music.
Yeah,
and
not it's
traveling
not about just
and
material things.
culture.
And giving them different things. I want to
gardening.
take them around the world. Everything we do doesn't always have to be centered around money.
Yeah. It could be around experiences and things. Like, I try to introduce them to things like painting and stuff like that, like arts and crafts and music and stuff like that, because introducing them to things is encouraging them to try new things and to explore their different interests.
Right.
And you never know. Like I said, because of that, I love traveling now. Like, we traveled a lot growing up too. Outside of getting on a plane, we would go on, road trips, Myrtle Beach and Florida and stuff like that. But because traveling was introduced to me so young, and I do believe it helped make me more culturally aware of my surroundings and
not afraid to go. Some people are just terrified about
to leave their city and stuff. It's a whole big old world out here.
Right.
So yeah, the fact that I am not afraid, that has encouraged me so much further into my adulthood to travel. It's actually one of my favorite hobbies.
Right. And then, and another thing too, when you try to steer your kids on the right path, it may be just sitting down. Once you're, showing them, teaching them, let them see the good and the bad of their actions, let them understand, okay, you may end up this way, but guess what? Show them the good of going down and choosing the right thing to do, what it can lead to, the endless possibility, the endless positive possibility. Hey, getting that good education. Come in, let me show you. Let me take them to California and show them the big mansions. And take them to, someplace. Show them how the rich and famous live. Show them how, they can explore. Show them how they can be creative. Show them how they can do things and create things, and how they, can develop things. And, take them to museums. Show them how, things that the scientists, create, and how it's important to the world. I mean, there's so many endless things and possibilities that you can show them and teach them. And so you may spark that interest.
Yeah.
You may touch on something that gets their attention. And then sometimes, parents, it's okay. Understand that you might just end up with a bad seed.
I thought you was going to say sometimes it's okay to just whoop their ass.
It is okay to whoop their ass. And that's what I meant. You end up with a bad seed, and you may have to whoop that ass a little bit more than you want to.
To turn that bad into good.
Yeah. I'm not, I am a proponent for reaching out and touching that ass to make this world a better place.
Oh, we know.
Can. It is what it is. Kids.
So these are some ways, like we said, introducing your children. And to encourage your children, you can introduce them to new things. Mm-hmm. You can show them the consequences of their actions, whether it be good or bad. You can encourage them in ways to explore the things that you see that they're already taking an interest in. You can invest in those things, which I will give you credit for. You saw early on that I took an interest to modeling and acting, and you paid for me to go to John Casablanca.
I pissed away a lot of money in a lot of different ways.
You just pissed that money away. And I want you to know that John Casablanca, regardless of if it got me jobs then, it has taught me so much. I know how to pack a proper set bag to this day.
Okay.
I know how to be prepared for set. I have great set work ethic. I know how to do my own hair and makeup just in case somebody don't show up.
So it
equipped me. It installed some things into me, and it planted a seed that I have nurtured and blossomed as an
Okay.
adult.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you for your investment.
Okay. Thank you.
And lack of encouragement. No,
Okay.
just like, it was that investment was encouragement, and it has definitely paid off in the long run and steered me down the right path. So investing into things that they do take interest in, like you said, showing them the consequences, and letting them see what happened if they don't.
Absolutely. And that's what comes in. That's what tough love comes in. You know?
And sometimes encouraging can mean stepping the hell back.
Yep.
I'm going to let you hit that wall because I done told you not to hit it.
Yep.
I done told you it's a brick wall down that road and you keep wanting to go.
That's like one time. I remember as a little girl, as a teenager, my mama, I had these girls I used to hang around with, right? So I came out of elementary school and I hung out with, some original friends. And out of school, I hung out with, some other girls, about 5 of the other girls. And so when it was time to transition into high school, Mama said, you're going to go to, Price with your brother. And I stood on my head. Wait, excuse me. Mama said, you're going to go to Price with your brother. And I stood on my head not to go. I wanted to go to Carver with my other buddies. My girlfriends.
They don't even have these schools no more in Atlanta, but go ahead.
Yeah, they do. They still have Carver. Price had turned into a middle school. So she's standing on her head and telling me, hey, I've told you, these girls are no good. You're not going to up. You need to they bad, they're fast, and blah, 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 right? And I'm standing on my head that, no, I want to go with my friends. I want to do this, that, and the other. This, and she's fighting with me. These girls, stop hanging around them. They know me, you're no good, blah, blah, blah. So she gives in. She lets me go to Carver with my girlfriends. We go to Carver. The first semester, I did okay. I made probably 5 decent grades and 1 bad grade. Second semester,
you flunked.
I probably made 1 decent grade and 5 rest of the horrible grades. By the third semester, me and these girls, we hanging out. We done everything under the sun we ain't got no business doing. Instead of going to class, Mama would give us lunch money. We get our lunch money. We go hang out somewhere all day. And we smoking weed. We getting high. We not going to class. So I'm still hanging out with these girls. Mama just telling me these are not girls for you. This is not good for you. So by the third semester, me and one of them get into a dispute. And one of them was my ride or die, so I thought. And Mama done told me the whole time, those girls don't mean you any good, blah, blah, blah.
How come parents can always see that?
They can always see that. But I know. Mama, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm just saying to myself. So one day, we're walking, me and one of them get into a fight. And she whoops my ass. She beats the dog shit out of me.
What damn?
Yeah. So my ride or die, I'm thinking should come to my rescue. So I'm feeling some kind of way.
She let you get jumped.
She let me get jumped, right? So I'm salty. But the next day or two, I see an opportunity to get back. So I see the one who jumped on me, beat my ass, walking across the field. And I bolt out the door. And I sneak up behind her. And I commenced to welling that ass back, because wasn't nobody around. And I'm getting my get back, right? So after I get my get back, I run back home, right? And I lay low. Then I think about it. I'm like, oh shit. Can't go back with the crowd no more because, they're going to all be with her. And then I'm going to have to deal with this shit some more.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in and I had a conversation, with my brother. And I was like, look, I need you to, back then your siblings could come withdraw you from school. I was like, look, I need you to come withdraw me from school because, we done.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go back there no more. Yeah. So he withdraws me and I tell Mama, I got to go, I want to go to Price. I didn't tell her why, but I just told her I wanted to go to Price with my brother. So I went with the price. So that third semester came around, and I'm having to the grades come around for that third semester, and I barely I make good grades for that third semester, but because I messed up the first and second semester, I didn't quite have enough grades to get promoted to the ninth grade, right? So you don't know that until school's out. So
yeah, it's over with now, babe.
Right. So I'm living with this the whole summer, right? So when it came time to go back to school, I got to face the piper then. I got to tell mama, I got to face this shit now. It didn't caught up with me, because now she's wondering, well, what's wrong? You ain't hanging out with them no more. All of a sudden I got to face the piper. And I got to tell mama that when I go back to school, I'm not going to be in the ninth grade. I'm going to be in the eighth grade. I got kept back. And that's like eating crow. That was the most bitter pill I had to swallow. And that was more heartbreaking and more crushing to me than anything in the world that I experienced. You know why? Because everything she did, everything she said was to protect me from that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I did everything I could to run to that moment. And so when she took her hands off and allowed me to go through that experience for whatever it was worth, and it took me getting my ass beat to realize what she'd been telling me all that time, that wasn't the crowd for me. I didn't need to be engaging with those girls. Those girls were not my friend. It took that whole experience. And for me to get kept back, because I got kept back because I was hanging out with them dropout do-nothings. And they would
drop out do nothing.
Right. Because they didn't.
With those do nothings.
But you know what she did at that point? She sat down. She didn't. That Sunday, I cried like a baby. I cried like I had really lost, my best friend. She didn't whoop my ass, which I just probably thought she was going. We talked. And she explained to me that she wanted more. The reason for her telling me that is because she saw that. And she wanted more for me in my life.
Then you obviously wanted it for yourself.
I wanted it for myself. So that encouraged me at that point to get my shit together and go back to school. And I made her promise, Mom, I'm going to do right. I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to graduate on time. I promised her that. And I made up for it and I did. Yeah. But as parents, that was a teachable moment.
Absolutely. And that really brings me to my for the record. My for the record is sometimes encouragement to your children looks like stepping back and releasing control and allowing them to make mistakes.
Right.
And decisions on their own. Because to your point, I used to have this little boy that I liked when I was young. And my mama didn't want me liking him. And so I would get caught talking to this nigga like every 6 months. Like it would be every so often she would go through my phone, see I'm talking to the nigga, change my phone number, block him, all that. We kept going through this cycle for years until she was like, all right, you can date him. You let me date him for probably how long? I mean, I dated him probably. After you said, okay, you can date him.
I don't think that shit lasted 3 months.
It didn't last. I about to say maybe 6. It didn't. I know it didn't last no longer than a year, if that. So it's like you sometimes have to step back and let them make decisions. And it ended up being a mistake. Obviously, I learned from it. He hurt my heart, my feelings. He ended up being a lying ass nigga. Like, no good for me. But it took me to choose and experience that without someone else in my ear for me to make that decision and come back to the right track on my own.
But the other side of that is sometimes even when you
and that can be hard as a parent.
It is. I was going to say, when you let them make those decisions, it's hard as for a parent to sit back and watch you hit that brick wall. Yeah. That's painful.
But just like God, he uses those as teachable moments.
Yeah. Yep.
So sometimes it's necessary for our growth to go through painful experiences.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You cannot prevent every painful interaction for your child.
Yep.
Because that you're actually preventing them from learning and growing.
Yep. I was reading a daily.
That's really for the record. You can't prevent the pain.
Yeah.
Sometimes that pain gonna teach them more than you could ever teach them.
Absolutely. Because I was reading one of the daily verses, and it said pretty much that exact same thing. God, things happen, and you have to understand that even though they happen to you, it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be for my for the record. Even though our kids are gonna experience some things, they have to experience those things for their benefit. And we can't protect them from everything all the time because we naturally want to do that as parents.
Yeah.
We naturally want to prevent those pitfalls. But for the record, we cannot do it. And even if we did do it, do we want to do it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I can tell you, but until you experience it, you don't get it. You don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So
release.
Yeah. As parents, we got to release ourselves and release our children sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's okay. That doesn't make you a bad parent to release it. Sometimes tragedy will find them. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes it won't, and that brings me back to a point, we have a family member where, she did everything she could possibly do to keep, keep a family member on track. But unfortunately, it didn't work. He was just so hell-bent on doing things, and it cost him. It cost him dearly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a tragedy. She sought help. She sought advice, experience, but sometimes they're just hell-bent on doing things their way. And it can cost them, sometimes to their detriment. But that's life. That's growing. That's learning.
What's your for the record?
I just gave it to you. For the record, it's okay to let your children hit that wall. And don't feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, parents. Don't blame yourself for a lot of things that your children do when they don't want to listen. When they are rebelling, just understand you continue to give them the love and support and be there for them, when they do come crawling back, because they're going to come crawling back. And just be there to pick up the pieces.
You better be there to pick up my piece.
You better not come crawling back. You better made some, better decisions in life.
Well, I want to know. It's time for I want to know. I want to know. Would you got I want to know? I always be going first. You got one?
I want to know as a child, why is it that you think it's so important that you got that accolade, that attaboy all the time? Was it just because you felt you deserved it, or you just felt like,
I longed for it. I wanted it. You were so hard on me that I just wanted to know that I got it right sometimes. I just wanted the validation and the confirmation. And that might be why sometimes I seek external validation from the world, is because I didn't quite get as much as I needed from you sometimes. And even though I got it from my nana in a lot of ways, it still didn't hit like how it would have hit from you.
And a lot of times, to my defense, I would say, because I saw you getting that all the time.
You thought it didn't matter?
I thought it didn't matter, but I also thought, well, goddamn, how much more you need?
No, I need it from you, though. It's like, as a woman, you go out into the world and everybody say you so fine, you so beautiful, you so sexy, you look great. But if your partner not saying it, it don't hit right? If it hit different when your mate say, damn, baby, you look good. That feel way better than a stranger saying, you like, all right, thank you, yeah. So not to say my nana was a stranger. she definitely was in the household, so I get how you thought that it was there, but it's different coming from your parent. It's a different feeling. I just can't describe it, especially with someone like yourself that is very ambitious, that has got all their shit together or working and grinding to be, you know what I mean, successful. And you have these high standards of me. So to know that, hey, I reached the standard sometimes would have been nice.
Okay. So as I would say to parents, maybe we can do a little bit better job at, giving our kids those attaboys and accolades and saying, hey, you're on the right track. But I don't want to give it to you. I don't want to give them to you to the point where
you don't have to overly. I'm not saying as soon as I walk in the house, be like, oh, hell, Sabrina, here she comes. Oh, queen, you get it right all the time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if I do something good, just tell me I'm doing something good.
I got
Keep
you.
me going on a good path, or hey, I really am proud of you when you do these things.
Okay.
All right, bet I know how to do those things to make her proud. Mm-hmm. I knew when you wasn't satisfied. You didn't hesitate to say that.
Okay.
I want to know, what do you feel like, or how do you feel like your mother could have encouraged you more? In what ways do you feel like you said, all the different ways we talked about exposure and positive reinforcement and releasing and letting your children make their own mistakes. Like, what ways do you feel like your mama could have encouraged you more? Or what ways were you longing for her validation or encouragement?
Mama used to sit and talk to me a lot. I would, ask her a lot of questions and sit and chat with her. And I think differently from you, I think Mama, well, let me back up. Similarly to you, Mama didn't tell me a lot of times that she was proud of me. And she began to do that when I got a little older.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that as a child, I probably would wanted to know that, that I was loved a little bit more.
You wanted the same shit I wanted.
Well, I mean, to some extent, I guess if I think about it and peel it back.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe.
And that's why you didn't have it to give to me, because your mama didn't give it to you. I forgive you for that.
That may very well
I'm not holding it against you, but yeah, that's why we have to have these conversations so I can give it to my child, because I see the cycle.
Okay. I guess when you look at it that way.
When you bring it on home, that's what I do. I bring it on home, made it full circle.
Yeah, and I think about coming up, what she could have done a little bit more to encourage me.
Yeah. See? That's why
because I think about there was really nothing else.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that, and that doesn't make her a bad parent, right?
No,
and you appreciate all that she did do, right?
Yeah,
but you just realized that, hey, in this one area, you could have did a little bit more, and I think it might have positively impacted me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can take away negative from that.
Yeah.
Because, she worked hard. I saw that much. She poured her heart out, and she did all she could do for us. She kept a roof over our heads. We were clean. We were fed. And again, I thought that she was always stressed the hell out.
Yeah. I can recognize the same with you.
And I didn't want to be the source of any of that.
I didn't want to be the burden.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same. And that's why I think that this is all the more reason why us having these conversations is so important, because it heals me, it heals you. And I think that it will heal the children that I don't have, and my niece and nephew, and you know what I mean?
Because I guess we talked. Mama talked to us a lot coming up as children, at least me. I would make it a point to go talk to her. And just ask questions and try to understand. And she would always, tell me things like, the reason it was important to get an education so I didn't have to work certain jobs, and the reason it was important to do. So she Mama was always teaching me survival skills.
Instilled, survival into you, but
Yeah.
the sugar on top of it was missing us sometimes.
Right.
And that's what I have
Right.
all the survival skills that I need, but sometimes I want a little bit more sugar.
Yeah, well,
So sweeten up my Kool-Aid. Anyways, thank you for that.
okay. You're welcome.
You know, and that has been another episode of Mommy and Me. If we do not see you, I know the end of the year is coming up. If we don't see you till next year, have a happy new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays. We love you.
We love you. Happy holidays.
From Mommy and Me.
Mommy and Me. And I've got a birthday coming up in December. Shout out to all the Sagittarius that are out there. There are a few Scorpios right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. By the time they see this, it won't be Scorpio season. It'll definitely probably be still Sagittarius. Probably going into Capricorn. So shout out to y'all too.
Shout out to y'all too. So
hey, Christmas babies and all of that good stuff.
Hats off to all the Sagittarius.
Happy holidays from us, and thank y'all for tuning in.
And this has been an amazing year. I've really enjoyed the Mom and Me podcast.
Oh,
we've grown exponentially, and we have hopefully reached a large viewership from when we started.
We're reaching the hearts out there, the community.
Yeah. And hopefully we've said something and we've shared something that would allow you to improve your relationship with your family, whether it be your mother, your daughter, your son, your father, your mate, your partner, just something to help you grow. Because this is what this is about.
Yeah.
We want you to grow. We want you to heal. And we're healing in the process. So we'll heal together.
We'll heal together. Thank y'all for, like she said, this amazing year with every single one of y'all that have fallen in love with us in the podcast and the platform. And we appreciate all the support. We appreciate y'all tuning in every week. We appreciate y'all giving us your feedback, even the negative. When y'all going and clapping back in the comments, we welcome it all, So thank y'all for this journey. Thank y'all for being a safe space for us to be vulnerable, be open, be honest, and share our experiences. And thank y'all for letting me share my mama and my family with y'all.
Thank y'all for letting me share the other Renee from the A with y'all.
They was going to get me regardless because I was already out here in these streets. But anyways, like we said, that concludes this episode of Mommy and Me. Until next year, next week, or you can just go back and binge all of the episodes of Mommy and Me during the holidays with your family. Okay? Well, we love you guys.
Happy holidays.
Peace.
Peace.